So now we have the adding of fractions, but 3 of the problems have some x's involved. Not a problem. So with this, the least common denominator is going to be a 3. So this 7 could be viewed as 7 over 1 to look at it as a fraction. And then we would need to multiply the top and the bottom by a 3 so that the denominator can be a 3. So we would have 21 over 3 plus 2x over 3. That means that the common denominator is going to be a 3. And with the 2x and 21, they're not the same type of terms. If this said 2x and 21x, you could then combine them to make 23x. But since they're not the same type of term, you just say, okay, plus them together, and it can't be simplified. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking, oh, I better divide that 3 into the 21. Because if it was just this, 21 over 3, you would have to do it. But since it's got this extra term, you have to look at it as 3 terms. There's the 2x, there's the 21, there's the 3. If you're going to be dividing things by 3, you have to do it in each and every term. So you'd have to divide this by 3, would leave a 1. You'd have to divide this by 3, would leave a 7. You'd have to take the 2 and divide it by 3, which the 3 is not going to divide into 2. So since it can't be divided there, it can't be divided anywhere. You just leave it like that. Okay, over here we have a least common denominator of 4. So multiply the top and the bottom here by 4. So this 4 times 2x is going to be 8x. So now that's 8x over 4 plus 3/4 x, or you can take this x and put it up there with the 3. So now we have 8x plus 3x, and that's all going to be over 4. Well, now these are like terms. An 8x and a 3x are both x terms, so you can add them together, grand total of 11x's. Finally, there's no common number that will divide into 4 and 11. That means it's already reduced and finished. Okay, so in this one, they were not like terms, so you just say add them together by just saying a plus sign in between. With this, they were like terms. Now with problem C, it's got a mixture of the two, because this is an x term, and this is an x term, so those two can be those two can be combined to make another x term. So I'm going to do that part first. In here, with a 5 and a 10, the common denominator is 10. So multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2. So from this one, we would have 8x over 10 plus this one is 2x over 10. And then you can combine those. An 8x and a 2x is going to be 10x over 10. And then a 10 divided by 10 will cancel the 10s. We'll leave 1 times x, which is x. All right, now I need these guys. So with a 3, let me just write it over here, minus 2/3 plus 1/5. Just recopy those two from the original. And for these two, the common denominator is going to be 15. This I need to multiply by 5 on the top and bottom. This I need to multiply by 3 on the top and the bottom. So then we would have minus 10 over 15 and plus 3 over 15. So let's see. Well, it's going to be over 15 for sure. And then it's going to be negative 10 plus 3. That means subtract the two numbers, it's 7. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So minus 7. And then finally, this problem here doesn't have any letters or variables in it. This is the compound or complex fraction problem. We've had one of these before. So what we do is combine the numerator first. So that's a 5/3 plus a 6/7 for the numerator. Common denominator is 21. Multiply here by 7 on the top and the bottom. Multiply here by 3 on the top and the bottom. So this is going to be 35, for 7 times 5, over 21. 6 times 3 is going to be 18 over 21. So it's going to be over 21. We've got a 35 and an 18. 35 and 18. 5 and 8 is 13. Carry the 1. 3, 4, 5. We've got 53. So 53 is a prime number. That means we can't reduce. So we've got the top. So it's one big fraction. We've only done the top. 53 over 21. And now we get to do the denominator. So the denominator is 3/8 minus 7. And 7 I'm going to rewrite as 7 over 1. Then the common denominator is an 8, so multiply top and bottom by an 8. So this would be, let's see, 7 times 8 is 56. So it's going to be minus 56 over 8. Recopy the 3 over 8. So we're subtracting. 3 minus 56 is negative 53, and then it's over 8. So negative 53 over 8. Negative 53 over 8. Okay, so now that we have the top simplified and the bottom simplified, then to divide two fractions, you leave the first one alone, 53 over 21. Change it to multiplication and invert the other one. Okay, then we've got a 53 on the top and a 53 on the bottom. They will actually cancel each other out. The negative sign will still be there. So we've got negative 21 on the bottom. Then with an 8 and a 21, this can only be divided by 2 or 4. Neither of those are going to divide into this, so we're done. So it is an 8 on top, and then 21, and the negative. Actually, with fractions, you can put the negative on the bottom down there with the 21. Could have put it right in the middle or even on the top. All three mean the same thing. All three just mean that the fraction is negative.